get this show on the road. I don't think I've ever started the stream within like the first tune, so that's kind of cool. I'm gonna need to minorly adjust my studio monitor volume so it doesn't overwhelm my microphone. Because I just like jam out with this stuff here in my room because I like listening to it. Welcome. Hey Ian. Hey Lady Aileros, how are you? I'm gonna, turn on even more lights because it's kind of dark in here. Hey Sloopy, what's going on? Good to see you. Good to see you all. Hope you've all having a good week. This is actually the end of my work week. I'm taking the rest of the week off just to do not a whole heck of a lot. Other than possibly drive to Pittsburgh for an interview. Because today was an absolute show of a day. I'm tired too. I feel that. I feel all the tired. But I was like on a roll, like actually gonna stream twice, 2 weeks in a row. I figured, so, all right. Exhausted and it's only Tuesday, yeah. I totally feel that, Lady Alaros. At 1 a.m. this morning, that was a pretty good, that's a pretty good trek there, Sloopy. Yeah, I saw pictures from Midwest. It looked awesome. I'm bummed that I can't be there, although it also looked a little tiny bit overwhelming, not gonna lie. That place is crowded as heck. That place is crowded as heck. Also probably would be terrible for my wallet and terrible for my I need to stop collecting things because I might have to move again. Just drove around Pittsburgh at 7 p.m. That's only a little while ago. Well, I guess it's not 7 p.m. where you are right now. Yeah, it looked packed from all the photos that I've seen. The vendor area looks like an absolute mob scene. It's crazy. So, as much as I want to go, I'm mildly terrified about actually going. 7 p.m. yesterday. There we go. That'll do it. So, project that I'm going to try and work on tonight. If any of you listen to the Pixel Gaiden podcast, they have a concept called the box of broken dreams, and it's where the box you stick all your projects in that didn't quite turn out the way you wanted to. And inside my box of broken dreams for the past couple of years, since Tandy Assembly, when I picked it up, honestly, is this. This is my Tandy 1400FD. Camera a little bit. Hey, Retro Gaming Denmark. I don't know about King of Retro, but thank you. It's good to see you. A Spark Station 2 for $25. That's a good price for a Spark Station 2. I am down to my last Unix workstation, which is the Spark Station that's sitting under my monitor right over there. Nice little lunchbox. Yeah, I think they could definitely occupy a bigger venue, Ian. I agree with that. But this is my Tandy 1400 laptop, 1400FD. The 1400 was the first PC laptop that Tandy produced. And they produced a couple different variants, the 1400FD, 1400HD, of course with the hard drive. 1400LT, I think, might have been the first. I had one of those. I sold it to Frank of Retro Rewind. I think you just heard about this on CC. Okay, I don't know what that means, actually. For something much bigger next year. Okay, cool. Computer Chronicles. Oh, right. Yeah, they probably did talk about the Tandy 1400, although I bet it was the 1400 LT. But cool if it was the FD. So I picked this unit up at a Tandy Assembly. It was probably $10. Probably didn't work. Into 1987, just watched laptops. Nice. I don't know what the year on this thing is. Let's see if we get any clues down here. Well, turn it over here. Maybe y'all can see. Whee! So there we are. It's the Tandy 1400FD. Personal computer, voltage 12 volts DC, amperes 1.2. 1.2 of them amps. With some serial number, made in Japan. I don't see anything that looks like a date. Yeah. But it certainly was a machine of the 80s, produced in November of 1987 per Wikipedia. Awesome. I love my chat. It's got a handle, right? It's got a freaking handle built into it. That's what a beastly machine this is. You know, it's like you're serious when you know you're gonna be walking down the street, just like toting this thing. You know, oh, let me move my chair out of the way. But yeah, just like walking around carrying your laptop. But of course, it don't work. To the airport to catch your Pan Am flight across the country. Exactly. That's exactly what this thing was. So, issues with the machine. For starters, when I pulled it out a little while ago, I was actually surprised to see it in more or less one piece, because I was pretty sure that it was broken in more ways than it appears to be right now. Now, appearances could be deceiving, so I don't know. I'm gonna get into this. But basically the story behind this machine is I bought it. It might have kind of worked, but not really. I think there was an issue with the LCD. I figured that was probably the power supply with the negative voltage, because the negative voltage on these power supplies is usually built badly because it doesn't have to supply much current. And so it fails early. I was like, all right, I'll get in, service the power supply. That'll probably bring the negative voltage back, and it'll probably work just fine. I serviced the power supply. Basically, I recapped it, put it back in. It didn't work at all. And in the process of doing this, I broke one of the hinges. Yeah, fail early. Exactly. I broke one of the hinges. I repaired it with copious amounts of epoxy, and then the other hinge failed, at which point I said, go to your room and think about what you've done, threw it in a box, and didn't look at it for 2 years. So, yeah. When I get into this, I'll have to see what the state of these hinges are, because I was pretty sure that these guys were busted, but they actually appear to function. So I'm a little confused. But what definitely don't function is this power supply. Takes 12 volts in, or I think 7.2 on the NiCad pack, because it's got a great big chonkin battery holder right here. Before closing the battery cover, be sure that the battery cords are neatly stuffed between the battery pack and the rear panel, not routed over the battery pack. There you go. Time in the box was good for it. Yeah. Hey, Texas Foos, what's going on, by the way? I haven't said hi to you. Welcome in. So I'm pretty sure this thing took a 7.2 volt nickel cadmium battery. So part of me thinks that my approach right now for tonight should be reconnect the power supply, power it from the battery connector with my bench supply at 7.2 volts, and see what we get out of it. Hey, Upshift64, welcome to the stream. Thank you for the follow, appreciate it. Taking a look at a Tandy laptop tonight. Oh, and also I forgot to thank you at the beginning, Ian, for 15 months sub. That is super generous of you. I very much appreciate it. But yeah, it's got weird connectors. Got this multi-pin for most of the voltages, and then these big guns for some of the higher current supply, I'm assuming. Although this one, that's weird, because this rectangular connector is connected to 2 pins of the motherboard power connector. Oh, I bet I know what this was. I bet this was a backup battery. Hey Tom, what's going on? 1400 Tandy OEM this from someone. Yeah. Oh yeah. Tandy didn't make jack shit themselves. If you can remember who made it, though, that might be that would be interesting. So this is probably where the backup battery connected. Did it have CMOS yet? I don't know. But this probably is a memory backup in case you lost all power. This would put the machine into a suspend mode and you preserve your memory on this alternate battery. That's my guess. And then this is some other high current connection, maybe for the floppy drives. I don't know. I can't remember. It's been a while. So I think the first trick is just going to be getting into this sucker. Oh, back panel. DC 12 volts, positive pin. And then all the ports. Massive D sub for the external floppy drive, right? This looks like it's like all 40 pins or all 34 pins of a floppy interface on a D sub. RGB, so I think this is a CGA machine because I'm pretty sure it's just an XT class machine. Writing an example game for the ColecoVision. These is built-in OS ROM for everything. No one has done this. No one ever used the OS when they wrote games. You know that, Tom. RS-232, parallel printer port, XT keyboard port, or AT keyboard port. I don't know. And then the interesting thing is it has these two expansion ports, and someone has actually made a version of the XT IDE hard drive controller for this machine, for this slot. I have the parts to build one. I have, in fact, a partially built one, but it's made not for this model, but for a different model of the 1400, and it doesn't physically fit because inside here, there's a piece of plastic that gets in the way of inserting the card. This card is larger than the original cards that were designed for this machine. Yeah, so I figured it was CGA. I think it's basically an XT. An XT in a portable form factor. So let's get inside it. This one has big chunky screws so I can use the power driver. I messed around a little bit with the balance on the background music. Let me know if it's problematic for anybody. Leave the gas on. No, that I think what you were seeing was me sort of freaking out about the audio levels, because I'm the kind of person who freaks out about audio levels. Just a moment. That. All right. Okay, that probably gets most of the case off. Or all of the case. Cool. Camera around here a little bit. Alright, so we have got now dual floppy drives. Alright, this green wire, which was, I guess, this green wire that went to the logic board there. Yellow wire. Looks like it goes to the floppy connection here. Video for the LCD panel. And looking for the power connectors. Alright. Yeah, so the power supply went over here, like this. Power switch slots in there. Yeah, okay. And then this connected on the board like that. These things connect however they connect. Alright, they're actually keyed, so I can't screw that up. That's nice. And then, yeah, I'm pretty sure it's 7.2. I'm just gonna try putting some power on this thing on the battery input, see what happens. And get my handy dandy cable. Oh no, wait, that's not the cable I need for my bench supply. Hang on. I've got two jumper cables for my power supply. This one's just got bananas on it. The other one has a coaxial. Is it actually an 8088? I was kind of curious if it was a real 8088 or if it was compatible. Alright, crank this thing to 7.3. Set my current to an amp and a third. And the other thing we need to do is suss out which line is which as far as polarity goes. Get my meter. I'm willing to bet the black line is common. Oh, look. You can absolutely go to hell. Alright. Guessing this goes to ground. Yes, and it does. So there's our ground. Just verifying. Make sure nobody did something stupid. Look, they didn't talk about this one. They were touting how the 100 slab could talk to the newfangled cellular telephone. Ooh. That's pretty cool. All right. I just want to get something to keep these guys from shorting. Hang on. Take a little bit of heat shrink. So just run a little bit of heat shrink over top of this. That'll just give me something to... Actually, I need a little bigger one. There's a nice big one right there. Yeah, spammer. They're all over. Just bots. So we'll just cover that with heat shrink so it can't short against anything on the case or the negative line, just safety. And then let's make sure this is electrically okay. Just measure the resistance across this. Make sure I'm not going to short it. I mean, my power supply won't care if I short it, but... Oh, look at that. That is a dead frickin' short. Yeah. Yeah, I haven't seen bots in forever. There's clearly some new thing, a new bot code out there, a new way of evading filters. Okay, so that is just a dead freaking short. And the switch is in the on position. So that's no good. I can turn this on, but it ain't gonna do nothing in that state. So, turn you off. Actually, let me disconnect it from the main board. Redo that check. Okay, with the computer disconnected, we get a much more reasonable value. Although it's... Alright, so it's falling rapidly, which means that I'm charging a capacitor somewhere. I'm going to get my alligators. Little alligator add-ons for my meter leads. I have a couple of different, I've had or have a couple of different Tandy laptops. Like I said, I had a 1400 LT. I sold that one to Frank from Retro Rewind. And this is the FD, which I guess I decided to try and keep and do something with. Alright, switch it off. We go into very high impedance so that we're still clearly charging something. Switch it on. And we're still there. Alright. That didn't do it. That changed the load a little bit, but not super significantly. But when we plug it into the logic board, well, all right, it's not a dead short anymore. That's really weird. Well, You all saw it. It was an absolutely dead short a minute ago. And now it ain't. Could, in theory, power this thing up. Well, I mean, it's already dead. What's the worst that could happen? Move this around a little bit so people can see screen, if there's any screen activity. And let's go ahead and give it some power. Well, no flames. Ooh, we have a CRT. ROM BIOS version 1.04. Memory size, CPU clock 4.7 megahertz. I guess it's trying to do something with disk drives now. Okay. I know this thing didn't work when I threw it in the box. Ooh, yeah. I thought I serviced that power supply, but oh yeah, that smells awful. Holy cow. We're giving it 1.2 amps. It really did think about what it did, yeah. Now it's not actually booting, and it smells really bad like fish. So we've definitely got at least bad cap juice on it, if not actual bad caps. Wow, that's a smell. That's a smell to be reckoned with. Getting some Tandy stuff, came across a box of Atari 800s. Just to go down that road. Hey, Atari 800s. Those are good machines. I grew up with an Atari 400, and I have an 800 XL right now. Actually, I have two of them. One PAL, one NTSC. Okay, well, that's surprisingly good news. I'm very confused about the state of this power supply, though. Because last I remember, it was clicking really badly and refusing to drive something. These are Nichicon and Panasonic capacitors in here. I'm pretty sure this has been recapped already. Unfortunately, I didn't take very good notes on things. Well, all right, let's put this back into a configuration where I can get it off the bench, and then take a look at the power supply. Because either I haven't recapped it like I thought I had, or I didn't clean it up enough after I recapped it. Find a second one of these that's actually broken and read two of them. No, I had two Tandy 1400s. I got rid of one of them. And advice for an Atari noob. What do you have? What sort of accessories do you have for it? And this is an 800, not an 800 XL, correct? Yeah, exactly. Which Atari? $800 seem to be built like a tank. Yeah, the 800 is absolutely built like a tank. So if it really is an Atari 800, the one that's built like a tank, the power supply is going to be a 9-volt AC transformer. Actually, I've got one over here. You can grab as an example. It's going to be one of these bricks right here. And it's just, yeah, 9 volts AC. So nothing to it. It's literally just a transformer. And these are safe. There is no model of these that are prone to failure. Well, more than any other one. Because the guy who made it's in the room, yeah. 3 800s non-XL, floppy, tape drive, 2 power supplies. Great, yeah, so one of your power supplies will be for the floppy drive, the other one will be for the Atari itself. These are safe to use. The XLs, the one with the weird DIN connectors, they have some dangerous models of power supply that you have to watch out for. These are fine. Yeah, I mean, it's probably gonna light right up. You'll need a video cable for it. There's aftermarket video cables for the Ataris readily available. And then it's just a matter of what sort of peripherals you want. If you want to run the real floppies, real tapes, or if you want to get something like the FujiNet, which is a disk drive emulator, and a million other things, but a disk drive emulator. Or if you want to do cartridge-based stuff, and you want to get a cartridge type emulator. Unfortunately, the Ultimate Cart I don't think is made anymore, so I don't know what to recommend now for an Atari cartridge solution. He's used right around 10 volts unloaded. Yep, that sounds fine. It's possible that you might have RAM issues on Atari 800. I think reproduction RAM boards are available, or you can just service the existing RAM boards. They're just 4116s. SIO to PC is fine. SIO to SD, also fine. SIO S drive Max, also fine. Those are all disk drive emulators, single-purpose storage emulators, but still good. The FujiNet is a multi-purpose peripheral emulator, and does all the tricks, all the singing, all the dancing. All right. Get this cable out of here. There we go. All right. That's the shell off of this guy. So C3, this big cap here. All right, what do we got in it for capacitors? We are dealing with Nichicon, Panasonic, Nichicon. What I'm doing right now is I'm looking for any brands that I don't use. These are Panasonic and Nichicon. So again, pretty sure I have recapped this. Yeah. All right, so I'm seeing solder joints here that don't look wave soldered. So I'm gonna go out on a limb and say that I have already recapped this power supply. Tantabombs and Rifas. No Rifas on this because it doesn't deal with mains. This takes 12 volts in, so this is a DC to DC converter. You'll only see Rifas on something that talks to mains, something that connects directly to mains, because those are safety caps. Tantalums, I don't think there'd be any tantalum. Well, you know, I don't know if there'd be tantalums on a power supply like this. I'm seeing ceramics, electrolytics. Nothing jumps out at me that looks like a tan. Yeah, it could be that I just didn't clean it well enough, and I will be paying for that mistake with my nose for as long as I run this machine. Because there's definitely been damage or leakage and corrosion. Like I can see a diode here. It's kind of messed up. Y'all want to see it? Let's take a look. Let me get the scope out. Get out the microscope and jam to the demo soundtrack. Who's going to be the first to say it? Who's going to be the first to say it? This tune is absolutely dope. So what we've got here, we've got nasty diode. Oh yeah, that is really disgusting. Let's see what else we can see on this board. Yeah, definitely major ew. It could just be that I did not clean this board well enough when I quote unquote serviced it. Because that's right next to this big chungus of a cap here, this 1000 mic 16 volt. The rest of it kind of looks okay. Do some cinematic depth of field changes. Got it from the other side. Yeah, you can see sort of a little green dab of gunk. So yeah, I just didn't clean this board. Ugh. Well, it was 2 or more years ago, so. All right, let's try and get back in here. Maybe I can clean off that diode a bit. Some IPA. Look. Huh. Better. Still not great, but better. Actually, I need a better brush for this. What'd I do with them? They're there. Casual Lisa chilling in the background, yeah. It's actually a Mac XL, but yeah. Alright, I have the stainless steel brush on this guy for the moment, so might take off some solder mask if I'm not too careful. Let's see what we got. Yeah, not too bad. Probably just need to just bathe this blasted thing in isopropanol. My bench is absolutely going to love this bath, but oh well. Yeah, there's actually a little bit of a green tint to this isopropyl coming off of this board. So there's no way it'll come through in the camera, but I swear I can see it. more cruddy stuff. Oh, but we've got a raid. We've got a raid coming in. What we got going on here? These parts look kind of okay. Brush. I just can't really actually get it in there to scrub things. Well, let's see. I guess any ads may or may not have worn off at this point, but welcome, Raiders. Proton, good to see you. How are you doing? I assume you were doing more dev over on your channel. But welcome in, everyone. I'm Josh, go by 48K Rem. I do retro repairs, vintage computers, game consoles, some mods. We do various retro shenanigans around here. Tonight's shenanigan involves this Tandy almost said 100 Tandy 1400FD laptop that I've got the power supply here on the bench. Taking a look at it because it smells fishy, even though I already recapped it before. So yeah, what were you up to, Proton? I'm gonna take just a quick break, wash up. It's nasty. All right, sorry. Y'all came in right as I just dumped a load of nastiness all over my bench and all over my hands. Let's see. Working on your new game, a kart racing game. Nice. Let's get you a shout out here. If I can work my keyboard from all the way over here. I wish I could read this a little bit better. I don't know if there's supposed to be audio here or not. This thing's... I have all sorts of audio problems with the shout out overlay. Come on, mouse. Where are we going? There we are. All right. Well, cool. I look forward to learning more information about said game, Proton. You're gonna upshift. Yeah, there you go. Well, welcome in, Raiders. Thanks for hanging out. So this is the power supply, and we just bathed it in isopropanol and washed off some gunk, but it's still got some gunk to it. What I really need is a stiffer brush that I can get into a little tighter spaces. I'm going to try changing the nozzle, or the brush rather, on my little Excelta here. Put one of the nylon. See if that works a little bit better. Oh, come on, get in there. There we go. All right. Yeah. I'll make it a little bit easier. So now I can, I've got the AI driver for single player mode. Oh, cool. My wife and I have been enjoying a fair amount of Mario Kart on the Wii lately. It's a game we both have been enjoying. All right, let's see how that looks. It's a little better. All right, well, power supply works, surprisingly, and smells bad, but I guess it's time to just put it back in the machine, keep going, see if we can figure out what else is wrong with the machine. Originally when I pulled this thing out, I thought it was going to be in such a bad state that I might just take it out of the case and then make it into like a desktop, just run the board as an XT class machine, because I don't have one of those and I thought it might be fun. But if it's working this well, I gotta take a look physically at the hinges. Yeah, actually that's the next thing to do. Let's take a look at the case. I'm gonna pull the scope off the bench here. Do that for a minute. All right, back to the bench. Let's zoom out. So we've got, hey, hello Mechaform, happy Septandy to you as well, and to all who celebrate. Tandy is actually the biggest, by brand, the biggest part of my collection. I have, I think, 6 or so Tandys. Mostly laptops. Actually, all no, I have 2 color computers, but mostly laptops of one form or another. So okay, this is all connected here. The screen is connected here. Data, and then there's another smaller cable. You might be able to see in down here, this colored ribbon cable. I think this is for the indicators, the light scroll caps, low battery, standby indicator. Let's connect that, and then there's a ground lug here. Mostly Cocos, a Model 1, 2 100s, and a 1000A. Nice. Yeah, I've got... Well, I guess I only have the 3 100s now. Well, a 100, a 102, and a 200. Because I sold my surplus modded 102 at Boat Fest. Alright, I can move the base out of the way. 100 is a small portable. Yeah, it's a laptop. Tandy licensed the ESA bus. I can't. That sounds surprising because Tandy didn't pay for shit. So hearing that Tandy may have licensed an alternative bus makes me slightly suspicious. But who knows? I don't actually know that much about the development of Tandy machines past, like, about the Coco. Certainly not their PC line. Other than some of the stories I've heard about the development of the Sensation. Alright, so underside of this thing. The back lid is actually, that seems to be fully intact. I thought I had a split screw post here, but no, that's just dirt. And this hinge is, this hinge mechanism here. Alright, so the screw post is splitting. You can probably just barely see that there. Leading scaling. I don't think it's doing, it's doing like linear scaling in my window, and it's very annoying. I can't actually see much resolution. But that's, the screw post is cracking. Other than that, kind of seems okay. This one here on this side is covered with this shroud. So I'm going to take that off. Of their analog joysticks, and you ever owned a Coco or a TRS-80. Hey, Squire. Now, so far we haven't melted any metal yet. We did turn on a power supply that smelled really nasty, but it's already been recapped, and I've come to the conclusion that when I recapped it a couple years ago, I just didn't clean the board sufficiently. But it does, you missed the beginning, wherein basically I turned this thing on expecting it to be a wreck, and it just worked. This hinge, all right, it's kind of hard to see in this hinge if this is a problem or not. Which is a co-op student, their head office is in Canada, so all the different models. Oh, cool. See if I can move all the things here. Whoops, sorry about that. All right, so that's a bad, good problem to have, yeah. So it looks like this was, yeah. So I've only, yeah, so this is the one I repaired. Okay. Why did I think it was broken again? Because it doesn't appear to be broken on the other side. And this one, so this hole right here is where the screw would be into the screw post. You can see it is present on the other one here. But this one is held in place entirely with epoxy. And I think it's just absolutely caked in gunk, because I even got some here on the side wall of it, which maybe you can see better from this angle. But I mean, it's working. I'm gonna go ahead and put this shroud back in place. I think this is just a cable guide. Whoops. Take the screw out again, Josh. Oh, all right, this one here needs to be stabilized at some point. But it's actually not bad. So, unfortunately, this ruins my plans of turning it into a desktop because it's working. But let's see. All right, let's see if we can get it back together again. All right, so yeah, we've got a Mitsubishi branded 27256. I'm guessing that's the BIOS. There's an NEC D70108. That's a V20. So it's an NEC V20. There's a socket here marked for 8087, and there's another socket marked here for MB834000-25. I have no idea what that's for. And then there's a battery on the board. So the backup battery is still on the board. I'll have to get that out at some point. So Tandy, you got a Coco 2 for free at VCF Midwest. Nice. All right. Okay. I guess, and these floppy drives are like real floppy drives too. So I think could put a GoTech on this thing and actually boot it. One's jumpered for drive 1, one's jumpered for drive 0. So the one jumpered for drive 1 would, I guess, be the primary boot drive, because PCs are always backwards. Let's see if they're labeled. The one computer we bought was over 30 bucks. Yeah, I mean, if you can fix them, I think there's some really good deals to be had at a lot of these shows on, shall we say, less than working machines. It doesn't indicate which drive is the boot drive, but I'm pretty sure the way they're jumpered, 1 would be the boot drive and 0 would be the secondary drive because they're flipped. All right. Next thing to do is just reattach the display. Only one was non-functional. Cool. World of Retro Computers. Yeah, that's the Canadian show. That one sounds fun. I know the Retro Rewind guys will be there. PowerBook 520 non-functional? You don't say. This is clearly supposed to hit, this ground tab is clearly supposed to hit something interesting. Ah, the keyboard. That's what it's supposed to hit. Goes in there like that. Oh, nope. Get the ground lug back on it, you fool. Alright, ground lug restored. This keyboard, can't tell. Alright, it's made by Fujitsu. N860-4732-T001. Feels like a membrane. Alright, power supply. I guess I really should put back in its case to prevent any mishaps. A little bit tricky. Because of that cable hanging off of it. All right. There we go. Pretty simple power supply to disassemble, honestly. Oh, come on. There, I can just set you in the slot practically. Practically. Not necessarily. The old upside down trick. All right, there we go. Okay. Secure all of these. It's just because it's not dealing with mains, it's still a switching power supply, and there are still some unpleasant voltages present inside. In places. The zap is for entertainment value. Hey, Commodore Chronicles, what's going on? I do want to entertain you all, but I'm not sure I want to entertain you all like Electro Boom level. So I'm curious, what was the machine you paid more than $30 for, Sloopy? If it wasn't the PowerBook. I do want to live a little, which is why I'm avoiding high voltages. I really like Radix. All right. Anyway, this all goes in like that. This runs over here to the battery compartment. That. That. PowerMax 7600-132 with a 33 megahertz G3 in it. Nice. That's a beefy machine. $80 bucks. Yeah, I'll take that. I mean, I wouldn't because I don't need any more Macs, but that's a good deal. Giro Dano, thank you for the follow. Welcome in. I mean, the draw of collecting Power Macs is the same as the draw of collecting any other machine, really. It's just kind of not my thing, that's all. You know, what's the draw of having a Pentium 2 Windows 98 machine that I have in my other room? It's like, it's still Windows, right? But I'm trying to decide if I want to like try and put this thing back together at this point. Maybe I do. Maybe I'll just put it back together, which I think involves removing this screw here and using it to mount the power supply. And also this screw. That is more or less back together. More or less. Through Macs up to PowerPC pre-G3 because I use them a lot of the time home and work. Yeah. Commodore guy from the VIC-20 to the A4000 Macs and PCs though. Yeah. I enjoy playing with machines that I never got to experience back in the day because I jumped right from the Atari 400 to the 386 to the Pentium. Never had a Commodore machine. Didn't get a 16-bit Atari. Alright. That's that. And then this runs over here, I think, probably through this channel into what would be the battery compartment. +4 to Atari 800 to Amiga and a Sun 360. That's cool. I had a Sun 350 for a hot minute. Let's get these cables routed so I won't hit them with the screw post when I close the case. Okay, that can't route that way. That has to route that way. Trying to put a screw post through the cord. Not happy. Nobody likes that. All right. More or less back together. More or less. Friends had Atari, Apple II, Tris 80, Atom, TI-99. Cool. Just barely making the stretch from my bench power supply. Have to move this thing over a little bit. All right, well, let's see what we can do here. All right, switch that off. Protected there. Power supply on. I'm gonna up the amperage just a little bit to make sure that it's okay with that. And power on. All right, there we go. I think we briefly hit overcurrent. Low battery light flashing at me. All right, yeah. We're going way over current here. I'm gonna turn this up to a couple of amps. We'll give it 2.5 amps. Interesting thing is the power switch was in the off position when this was all happening, so I don't know. There we are. Reboot. Ah, okay. Contrast. Contrast pot. Contrast pot is dirty. Let me see if I can get this to where y'all can actually see what's going on the screen. Yeah, that's more or less. Oh man, that still stinks. That stinks. But I don't see it trying to access my floppy drives. It's not giving me a little battery indicator anymore, so that's nice. Alright, if I flip the power switch to off, alright, so it actually turns off. Alright, ROM BIOS version 1.04. Flaky backlight. Oh yeah. Rather unhappy. Hey Petzel, how's it going? Cost of maintenance. Don't know why my screen is suddenly unhappy, unless I didn't repair the power supply as well as I did, because you can see it's just it's contrast flashing. It's not the backlight flashing. If I turn the contrast all the way up, the backlight is solid. So the high voltage for the backlight inverters is fine. But this could be a sign that either my contrast pot is extremely dirty, but I don't think it is. It's not behaving like a dirty pot. I think my contrast voltage is still just going out, which is a major bummer. Let's see if we can get this thing connected to an external display. Whew, that stinks. Glad you all are on the other end of a H.264 video stream. All right. Pull that off. And I'm going to take off this panel here that has my little indicator lights on it so I can see them. I won't know what they mean because the legend is on top, but let's see. Oh, more folks coming in. Oh no, wait. All right, that's Petzel. Hi, Petzel. I said hi to you, I think. All right, this partly secures the logic board, so I'm going to put that back down. Alright, LEDs. Now I think we can take the display away. Yes, good. 500 gig NVMe, yeah. This thing wouldn't know what to do with 500 megs. So I was telling folks at the beginning of the stream that it has these expansion ports here in the back, And there is actually a hard drive controller available for this machine. And, ooh, and I just ripped the keyboard right out of its pads. That is dumb. How much damage did I do? Not a lot from the looks of it. Oh, God. Someone has followed. Captain Commerce, welcome. Alright. Get this ribbon connector for the keyboard. Secure it again. Get worried working on anything as old as you. Calculate the drive size for a few minutes. Yeah, no kidding. Now, for this, I should be able to get external video because, all right, over here, there is a little switch. There's a switch, internal, external. So I should be able to flip this to external. There's a volume pot too. I'm going to crank this up in case it wants to make any noise. And then we need a video solution. So just 1 second. For the video solution, I am going to be using my RGB to HDMI. This is a Raspberry Pi based scan converter, video scaler, and I have it hooked up to a CGA connector. Let me just give it some volts here, and then need my micro or mini HDMI adapter. And if this outputs any video, we should see it. I've been using this on my Commodore 128 lately. But this is the same video connection. Basically, it's a CGA, RGBI, RGB, red, green, blue intensity. Yeah, I'm using it with my 128. It works brilliantly. Let me get some power for it here. To make it myself, I mean, no, I bought the CPLD board and the case, put everything together. I did not make the board on this. You can buy bare boards, I think, as a kit. All right, let's see if we can get a signal here. Okay. So here we are. There's our output. It's a little bit cut off. Retro Hack Shack version, probably. That sounds about right. Sorry. I'm trying to rip my microphone off my shirt. And reconnect our power supply. Cables don't really want to route anywhere useful. Okay, the Texelec version, yeah, that's another good one. Texelec makes a version of this device as well. Has a DE9 on board for RGBI. This is the ribbon cable version. All right, enough talk. Let's make it work. Switch that on. Switch that on. What do we get? So far, Bubkiss. Oh, because it's off. Switch it on. See if it does better on. Does it work better in the on position? No. It works exactly the same in the on position, which is to say not at all. Wow, okay. It was drawing... So my power supply had current limited it, and it was down to 3 volts. So something is very unhappy in here, and it could be that the power supply can't regulate itself properly without the load of the backlight. All right, switch that on. Turn this on again. All right, we're drawing 1.2 amps. Seems to be happy, current draw wise. Oh, well, it's beeping at me. Just not getting anything on the video. We'll make that one integrated into an ISO slot. That's interesting. Alright, well, profile is set to Commodore 128. I suppose I could change the profile to an IBM. Let's see, these are CGA IBM new. Alright, let's call it that. Okay, now we're set to CGA, not Commodore RGB. See if this makes a difference. I mean, it's clearly running code because it's beeping at me. Draw power from the board. Ah, okay. I guess, yeah. All right, I can see that. Well, we're not getting a low battery LED, just not getting any video either. All right, I very clearly set that to external. I'm going to switch back and forth a few times. Yeah, just beeps, nothing on the video. Suppose I could reconnect it. Plug it. Fortunate to get 2 CRTs that support 80 columns. Nice. Alright, let's see what happens now. Alright, we've got backlight. We've got, it's putting video on the LCD. So, I don't know what this external switch is doing then. Oh, maybe that's for the floppy drive. That might not be for the display. That might be the floppy drive. How to make it display video on the external port. All right, so we know it's behaving exactly the same way with the onboard display connected. I think it's safe to disconnect that again. It takes up too much space on my bench. Do a key. So I was looking on the overlay here to see if there was a markings for external display, and I didn't see one because that thought did occur to me. Mecha. Stick in the floppy, give it a boot. I'm not sure that I have a floppy. I wasn't actually expecting to get this far tonight. I thought I would be spending most of the time extracting the board from the case, and because my plan was to just make this into a desktop, basically. But instead, the damn thing decided to work. So, you know. Some of these keys have blue function key lettering on them, but I don't see any of them that would indicate the display. Maybe there's something in the manual. Maybe I need to find the manual. Hey, what's up, Aaron? Control-Alt-Insert for setup mode. Okay. Can give that a try, I suppose. Alright, yeah, so my new theory is that internal-external is going to select the floppy drive, because it has 2 disk drives. So where would you plug in the external drive? If you had 1, your external drive would be disk 2. This has 2, so this switch might just be for flipping the floppy drive. For the flippin' floppy. Flipping the floppy. I don't know why the RGB port isn't working then. Cosmic power draws you near. Yeah. I'm just be glad it hasn't drawn you too near, because this power supply stinks like fish. Then F2 for LCD CRT. Okay, alright, let's give it a shot. Let's give it a shot. Control-Alt. Where are we? Control-Alt. Where's insert? Insert's over there. Alright. Give it a second to do a thing. Control-Alt-Insert. F2. Not making happiness. Not making happy. Make sure I'm still, yeah. RGB converter is still doing its thing. It's going to be a lonely pursuit. It is absolutely not a lonely pursuit, I can tell you. There's so many people in this hobby, so many cool people, so many awesome people that I have met through this hobby, including everyone in this channel, by the way. On BIOS version 1.04. Control-Alt-F11. Control-Alt-F11. The keys, they do nothing. (1400HD commands). Okay. Well, I mean, we could try try and boot it from a GoTech. See if it'll boot. I'm absolutely not prepared for that, so it's going to take me a while to find a disk image for that. Absolutely nothing on the keyboard makes a difference. Well, that's not true. The scroll lock, pressing the scroll lock key makes the scroll lock light come on and off. So at least something on the keyboard is working. Good old low tech. Come here. IBM CG emulation. Make this fit on my tiny little 720p monitor here. Yeah, minus 22 output. Yep, that was the thing that I'm sure I fixed. Bad electrolytic capacitors. Yeah. Okay, so just press Control Alt F11 to switch to an external monitor. Maybe I need to do it different time in the boot sequence. And the other weird thing is just switching it off like that has made no difference. Like, it's just still running. Yeah, nothing. Not a blasted thing. With retro computing, downside of the world of retro computing, on the other side of the country, yeah. Yeah, United States and Canada are big places. Canada even more so. All right, well, it's not dead. It's kind of nice. Oh, actually, I wonder if, well, no, I'm starting to wonder if maybe the power supply caps maybe the caps I'm smelling are actually on the main board, not the power supply. Because I just noticed there's a whole bunch of electrolytic caps down here, and it looks like maybe there's a subboard, a power supply subboard on this thing. Let's see if we can take a look. Kind of difficult with everything in the way here, but you can almost shine a light in there. I bet you can see it. So there's like right here, some electrolytic capacitor. So there's some sort of power supply subboard down there that might also need attention. So I guess I'll be disassembling this thing after all. How would one get the floppy drives out of here? Probably these screws there. Well, maybe not, actually. Not sure how these things are attached. All right, let's keep on with the display, off with the display, on with the display, off with the display. Whoop, nope, don't do that. Turn it actually off. Okay, yeah, that is part of the same frame. It looks like maybe this is too. Oh. All right, that's a support post. Does the whole thing have to come out? Can't just remove a drive. I have to take out the whole frame. That's what this is. Come here. No, it's absolutely never easy. All right, fine. Get you in a minute. Let's see if I can get this cable free from this cable retainer. That was actually relatively easy. And then, yeah, just full size floppy drives. So I could totally just plug a GoTech onto that thing. All right, it's free from that side. Power supply back out. And yeah, 2 screws down here, the rest of the drive frame. Those are into threaded inserts in the plastic. And still actually doesn't want to come loose. What else is holding this damned contraption together? I'm an idiot. I am an idiot. All right, take the back panel off of the expansion port covers here. Because, yeah. So, remember that card I was talking about? It's in there. That's what's holding everything in place. Is this thing actually has that XT IDE card I was talking about is actually installed in the machine, and I have no way to get it out again. Okay, that's free. Really doesn't want to come loose. Yeah, so here's the card. This is the XT IDE compact flash adapter for Tandy 1400 laptops. Manufactured by Seed Studio, low tech. Yeah. So I think this is the one I built. Yeah, it's got my kind of soldering job on it. All right. Hey, now it comes loose. One more connector here that goes to another slot, which I think is for a modem. Yeah, all right. So now this is where the communication slot, I think it's just a serial port for a modem. And then this is basically a stripped down ISA slot. This, however, I have no fucking idea what that is. Holy shit. What the hell? There is a 74HC158 that is just dead bugged on this board, soldered to a million fucking places on this board. Wow. This thing's had some work done. Okay, so on the RGB port, there's a couple of wires here. Going to pins on these parts here, which I don't actually know what they are. There's a lattice gal stacked on top of some other chip. These wires run over here to something in what looks like the power circuit. A bunch of glue logic. And wow. That's the Tandy mod. Looks like a homemade PS1 mod chip. It does. It definitely looks like a chipped PS1. So, huh. Alright, this chip has maybe had some pins lifted, or maybe just tacked onto it. These guys, this is clearly part of the high voltage. This is the high voltage supply for the backlight. What this is. Oh, sorry, y'all can't see everything I'm pointing to. So this is our high voltage supply for the backlight. And these two wires run over here like they're supposed to tap off some sort of power. Like they're getting some weird power. I don't know why they would. This gal labeled EL23, but it's a lattice gal 16V8. Tapped onto a bunch of stuff. And then these two wires run to these pins here, which hard to know what that's all about. So someone pointed out when we booted this thing that it had 768K of RAM. Here's an odd number. Let's Let's be honest. So I was wondering if this might be part of a memory upgrade, but then I don't actually see an extra 128K. I see 4256s here. So this is no wait, that's 256 512. Oh no, it's okay. Yeah, this is 768. I wonder if So these are Fujitsu 4256 chips, which 8 4256s would give me 768. So that's right. God, I have no idea what this is. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna have to take a bunch of photos and post in a bunch of forums before I go any further with this machine. Figure out if something's really weird, because of these two wires clearly tacked onto the RGB port. That tells me something is funky with the RGB. Something funky got functified with the RGB. So that might be why that's not working. The rest of this stuff, I have no idea. So I have to see if there's any well-known mods for this machine. How much memory did this machine ship with? I wonder. I'm wondering if perhaps these 4256s weren't 256s originally, and this is part of some memory upgrade, just because it's so close to the memory circuit. Like this is probably something to do with the memory interface. I mean, they did so many mods to this thing. This is like, why not fuck with the video too? So I'm wondering if perhaps they upgraded the RAM somehow and then did something else. Yeah, very strange. Very strange. Well, you never know what you're going to find when you open up flea market machines. Hey, Cola, how's it going? Well, this is a good tune to go out on, I think. Because, yeah, I'm not going to mess with this machine anymore until I can identify what the hell is up with it. Hey, Cola, you're just in time for us to shut the stream down. Cola's here, we can go now. Oh look, I didn't actually even need to take this thing off. Oh well. Let me see if this fits here. Thing spaghetti. Yeah. This is an absolute mess of a machine right now. Good, glad you. Yeah, I'm glad you did too. How you doing tonight, Mr. Cola? I'm just going to put this screw back in place before I lose it. Because I now have a project machine that gets to hang out on my bench for a little while. It's not what I was planning, but, you know, all plans. Got a haircut for the first time in 3 years. Feels a little weird. I'll bet. All right, well, I'm looking forward to the next stream then. All right, well, thanks everyone for hanging out. Thanks for your support, both your money and your time, because I value both of them, and it's very cool that you hang out here. Yes, the Southeastern Michigan Vintage Computer Club. It's a new thing. Commodore Chronicles is part of. So, or organizing, or, you know, the head high muckety muck. I'm not sure. Let's go check that out. In the meantime, let us go over to the Twitches and see if raids are in order. Zero page. What's zero page up to? I've tried to follow some more people, so maybe we have more people to raid, but you never do. Yeah, they've got 20 minutes before they go live. Psycho is playing some Dodon Pachi rare arcade stuff. We raid Psycho all the time. Anything else good in retro? Same day as your fail land. Oh, your fall land, not your fail land. Either way, it sounds good. Well, you know what? Let's raid on over to Psycho, because why not? I mean, raid there all the time, but it's good fun. So, where's the Twitch? Where's the raid button? We raid the buttons. We raid the buttons. So thanks everyone. Yeah, hopefully not a fail land. Hopefully not. Thanks everyone for hanging out. Watch the socials. 48K RAM at oldbytes.space and 48K RAM also on Blue Sky. Watch the socials for stuff. Hopefully I'll post more about this machine when I sort some things. Figure out what the heck is up with the darn thing, because this is bizarre. Yeah, have a good evening.